Hello and welcome to the Welsh Esports League for week number 2 with some Dota 2 action. I'm joined here by Luda. How are you doing today?
Yeah, Luda's great. It's I'm excited to see some more locally sourced dotes. I'm really excited for the next couple of games we've got in particular. I'm particularly looking forward to this one because a lot of three of the team that are currently playing are actually friends of mine. So I'm looking forward to seeing what happens and seeing them go up against a very, very strong team. So it's I'm something I'm quite excited for. How are you feeling about all this, Kit?
Yes, I am extremely excited to be back for week 2. So, for anyone who didn't join us last week, we've got a little bit of a recap. So, we watched on stream Pit Ponies versus the Dragons and Pirates versus the Goats. Now, both matches were quite one sided. So, we saw a bit of domination coming through from, first of all, the Pit Ponies. They took down the Dragons 33-3. And then the Pirates came through for a 40-5 victory over the Goats. So very, very strong showings from these teams. Looks like the Pirates and the Pit Ponies are definitely two teams to be watching. And we are actually going to be watching the Pirates going up in game number 1. And they'll be facing the Puffins. How are you feeling about this match? Are you expecting to see kind of like similar levels coming out from the Pirates as we saw last week?
So the Pirates are still going to play just as clean as crisp as they did before. We're already seeing the people that are already joining in. They've got their good emote game on, and that's what we want to be seeing. But I'm also conscious that Puffins have a couple of pretty good players themselves. In particular, Creator, who wasn't in the team last week and is now, is an immortal player themselves, and Demonicus is also a fairly decent player in his own right. Might not be the level of Reator and the Pirates, but is also pretty competent. So I'm feeling that, bluntly, I think the Puffins are going to put up a little bit better of a fight, and I'm quite curious to see what they play. But yeah, it's I'm still. Let me make it quite clear. I'm still expecting the Pirates to eventually end up dominating this game, but I do hope that it's at least a little bit more competitive.
Well, later on today, we'll also be watching the Goats take on the Dragons. Now, we were talking a little bit about this before the show.
Hmm.
I'm quite expecting to see a pretty, fairly evenly matched game there. I think that we've seen some pretty similar levels coming out so far from the Goats and the Dragons. Or at least they've both been able to hold their own against some pretty intimidating opponents. So that could be
Hmm.
a really exciting game.
Yeah, it's something that I'm quite. The Goats is also another series I'm going to be quite excited for because again I know a couple of people on that team, so once again I'm going to be merciless with the criticisms and hoping to see the spice. But yeah, the Dragons will be an interesting one. I don't think we saw the. Did we see the Dragons in this?
Yes, we did. We saw the
We did. They
Dragons
were
in
against.
game
They were against
1.
the. Yes, that was right. They were against the Pit Ponies. I've slept since then. I do apologize. But yeah, that's something that'll be an interesting game because I feel that they're going to be a little bit more evenly matched. I would say.
Well, that's going to be the hope at least. And
Mm.
then off stream as well, there will also be the Pit Ponies who'll be playing 2 games today. They'll first take on the Goats and then they will take on the Puffins too. So just a little bit of an update on some of the games we didn't watch last week. I'd hoped to bring you the scores then, but they hadn't quite been put in at the time of the stream. So the Swans went up against both the Puffins and the Dragons and won both games. So we won't be getting to see them in action this week because they are on a bye week. But we should be, hopefully, getting to watch the Swans play next week. And I think that is the only team that we've not yet been able to have a bit of a look at. I'm
Hmm.
quite looking forward to that because then we've seen what every team has to offer and have a little bit more of an idea on what to expect for the rest of the league.
Yeah, and I feel that that's I feel it's really important that we get to see absolutely everybody, and it's good it's good to make sure that we are getting that representation.
Yeah, and we do have the game up now, so we'll go straight into the draft menu here. What are you hoping to see come out today?
Anything except Lena. I I've seen so much Lena in the DPC, and I want to see some different flavors. If that makes sense. Oh, and there's the Lena band. The pirates are listening. Pirates obviously stream sniping on a 10-minute delay. That's fine. Yeah, it's I'm happy. We
Yes,
see the
this is a very strong hero at the moment, this Lena, isn't it?
hmm,
It's very tough because, and I've heard quite a lot of people talking about this. You know, to counter a Lena, you can't just pick a hero and that's your Lena counter. You've got to have quite a few layers when it comes
hmm.
to trying to figure out how to play around this Lena. You've got to have some nuke damage to be
It
able
does
to take her down. You've got to have this strong physical resist. You've got to have a strong magical resist. It's a lot going
Oh,
on.
so the puffins clearly paying attention to the meta, and they're going out with that first pick Rubik. We've seen so much Rubik in the DPC, and it's getting a lot of pub play as well. Rubik is really good because there's the obvious well, some people play those, so there's the obvious threat of stealing your spells, and you end up with a spell that's better than the person that cast it. But it's also got some really good control in the form of the telekinesis. Once the Rubik gets the shard, there's also the save in the telekinesis. It's
Mm-hmm.
just such a versatile pulse 4 right now. Meanwhile, the pirates coming in with the Marana and the Tusk. I'm fully expecting this Tusk to go mid, and I'm fully expecting it to be just as horrifying as we saw it before. And the fact that it's got some stun and some both in its and all that area control means that it should be easier for the Marana to land the arrows at that kind of stage.
Yes,
Meanwhile,
definitely.
the Puffins with the Undying. Now that's an interesting hero because that could either be going as the Pos 5, or it could potentially be flexed to the off lane. I
Mm-hmm.
know that Nez. I'm fairly certain that Nez does enjoy playing Undying, so I feel that she could potentially play that in the off lane if she were so inclined. The
Undying's
Puffins.
another very strong hero at the moment. You know,
Mm,
well, quite literally a very strong hero with his strength steal too.
mm,
You've got a lot of potential to be very tanky and to just
mm,
really like being able to steal strength from your lane opponents means that they have overall less HP. So any kind of harass that you do get onto them, be it just last hits, a couple of spells, it does a much bigger fraction of their HP as damage than it
mm-hmm.
does when they have their full stats. So it's a very strong hero and a very good laner at the moment as well. So
Yeah.
it's a fantastic pickup here, especially when you've got this Tusk coming out as well, because obviously the strength steal does impact strength heroes the most. So
Mm.
and particularly melee strength heroes too.
Yeah. Meanwhile, the Puffins they've banned out the Lycans, so they're feeling that this Tusk is either going to be mid or potentially maybe as one of the supports. So they're now looking at
Mm-hmm.
banning potential strong offlaners. They've also gone with the Razor ban, and Razor is fairly standard, quite strong offlaner at the moment. Meanwhile, the Pirates seem to think that the Undying is more likely to be a support, hence them banning the Doom. The Pirates are starting to go into their reserve time a little bit, so they are now being a little bit more thoughtful about what they're looking at banning out. I think at the moment that what they're going to be looking at banning is they're going to be looking at getting rid of really strong disables. So they want this. I feel like they want this Tusk to be able to just do everything he wants unabated, and they've ended up going for banning the Viper, maybe being concerned about the break. And straight away, Puffins thinking about the fact that they're banning a break, which means that they're a little bit concerned about a Spectre coming out. So they've followed up with that really quickly. So that's a pretty good read on that, I would say.
Yeah, I think these bans from Puffins are very good at identifying the way that the Pirates play their games and how to try and counteract that. So we're getting rid of strong mid laners in the Pango.
Yeah.
We're getting rid of strong push heroes with the Lycan. And to some extent the Razor as well, and
Yeah.
also this Spectre allowing this like global map presence for fights, and just allowing Iggy to keep farming up if they did put it as a pos 1 if they decided to choose it.
Potentially.
He could just farm up and then join a fight in the click of a button and be anywhere really. And these kind of heroes have this huge effect on the pace of a game, because when you've got very strong pushing heroes, very strong laning heroes, you're going to start to see this kind of like snowball effect where the Pirates will just very, very slowly but very surely just get stronger and stronger and stronger, and then it will get to a point where you cannot do anything to stop them, and
Meanwhile,
you don't really have anything left.
Oh, Prophet. I feel is probably going to be going in the off lane. That's where we've been seeing it a lot recently. What I was going to talk about as well, very quickly, is that the last ban from the Pirates was also the PA, and I'm starting to think that there's a common theme here. They're looking at avoiding break mechanics because the PA shard, the PA Ag shard, is the Fan of Knives, which is a break. So I'm starting to think about other heroes that the Pirates might be wanting to bring out that are strongly affected by break mechanics. They've already banned out the Spectre, so I'm curious what they're
I
thinking
think
about.
the only one would be a Bristle at this stage. It fits with their playstyle, just get up and run at you and end this game, which is how we saw them play the last week's games. It definitely does not want to be going up against a PA or a Viper. Doom, to a certain extent, is also incredibly frustrating as a Bristle as well, because your ult relies on you getting your spells off to get those extra stacks, so not being able to have that move speed.
I'm throwing another candidate into the mix as who I think they might be looking at breaking. It could also be looking at maybe breaking the Shadow Fiend. I feel like we saw Shadow Fiend in it was the Pirates game, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was a pos 1 Shadow Fiend played by Iggy.
Yeah, so I think that could also be one of the things that they're concerned about. Meanwhile, the Puffins coming in with the Lich now, so that tells me then that the Undying probably is going to be the pos 3, and that means Lich is going to be in the 5 position there. I don't know which of the two between Banza or Simon Reese are going to be playing in 4 or 5, because I didn't get to see any of their games yet. I feel like probably more likely going to be Simon playing pos 4, because that man can play just about any hero pos 4 if he wants. Silencer coming out now, so is that going to be the carry Silencer for Demon?
It would make most sense, I think, to put the Silencer mid, unless there is a hugely bad matchup for it picked up by the Pirates. But I think that, especially if they do decide to put this Tusk mid, having the Silencer to make it even more difficult to use your combo of spells to protect yourself if you need to, or even to use them to go onto the enemy mid as well. It just becomes a lot more frustrating, and there's one way of dealing with it, picking up an LC so that you can purge that last word, that arcane curse, and just make it a little bit easier for your cause in this game. It's a nice pickup.
Okay, so maybe that means that Tusk, because now they've got a Prophet and Legion Commander and a Tusk, so I'm starting to wonder who's in which position here. With the Silencer, I feel like the Silencer, based on who I'm seeing in the lane so far, I don't know how much I like Silencer being left on his own to possibly die. Whereas if you put him in the carry position, at least he's got a little bit of safety.
The issue with putting Silencer in the carry position is that he only scales up to a certain point. He doesn't have the same pacing that typical pos 1 heroes do. And I don't think that the pacing that a POS 1 silencer requires is going to work against pirates.
The only reason I suggest it...
I think they just hold their own far too well in the laning phase, which is where you need to see a silencer start popping off, and I don't think it's going to happen.
The only reason I suggest it is knowing what I know of how Demon and Creator play together. It could actually be quite feasible. The Creator, being the immortal in the team, plans to carry from the mid, and the Silencer is more of a utility carry. That's my reason for thinking that it might go in that direction.
I think that would
work. Meanwhile, Pirates think that Silencer is mid because they're banning carries in the form of Ursa and the Terrorblade as their last. And for what it's worth, Pirates also seem to think that the Puffins also seem to think that Pirates don't have their carry yet, with the ban of the Naga and the Lifestealer. And I must say, I am happy to not see Naga in a game, because we're also seeing a lot of Naga at the moment, and it's a boring hero. I don't like seeing it, so I'm happy that the Puffins are getting rid of it.
I think it's good to start looking at these heroes that you don't really want to be seeing, but at the same time, there is definitely no guarantee that this Pirates lineup is lacking its carry. It is entirely plausible that they are putting one of these heroes, potentially even the LC, into the POS 1 position, and that's
LC POS 1 is viable.
That's one thing that I really have enjoyed about the Pirates so far, is that you cannot guess their lineup until they make this final pick.
And even then, you just have to wait and see who picks what. Yeah, Chaos Knight is the final. Chaos Knight is the final pick. So I think they're looking for a carry that is going to be able to man fight and be able to sustain. Because I get the impression that the Puffins supports are going to have to work so hard to try and put out fires in various lanes.
Oh, definitely. And if you look at this Pirates lineup as well, so these first three heroes, and even the LC to an extent as well, they are very, very kitey. You get these spells off, you get this Exorcism off, the Press the Attack, the Mirana is just innately very kitey, as is Tusk. Like, you need some chase and lockdown, and CK provides both of those things with both his Q and W. You know, having a stun and a gap close, it's a huge advantage for the CK.
And a Dawnbreaker for the final hero. So
I had to laugh there, because that just goes to show completely what you were saying, that even after the last pick, you've got no idea where these heroes are going.
So that would be Iggy's carry, right? So that's going to be the Dawnbreaker. Yep. So again, going to be quite sustainable in the fights. So what is this? A support Death Prophet?
Yeah, support Death Prophet is very strong.
You
put levels into the silence, and you have your sustain innately with your Spirit Siphon, and you just kind of skip some points in queue. You can pick up like a value point for some damage, can help secure some kills, especially if you've got some very good supports, particularly with this Rubik, being able to help some saves. But
so we have the terrible overrated chef on Death Prophet.
That is a mid-Death Prophet. We see it picked up by Neb there. So it must be a POS 4 Tusk.
Okay. This is where you'll have an advantage of me, because I don't know who's and what based on position on names. So you can only go by what I actually see in the lanes. But yeah, so Death Prophet mid against the Silencer is going to be an interesting lineup. But the real question is going to be, what's the drip looking like on all the different heroes? What cosmetics are we saying? That's the
LC Arcana.
Oh, very exciting. With an awful lot of games of Dota.
Yes, I have to admit, I'm quite a big fan of this. This Dire lineup at the moment. Sorry, I'm just admiring them, like awestruck by this beauty.
So yeah, because oh, dropping the sheepo line, Simon supporting British talent. I'm really happy to see that. this is going to be a really important part of the game for me. Is the all chat game.
Oh,
That's
definitely.
there
So
we go.
we are going to
That's,
see all of these dire heroes grouping up here on the
yep.
into the Radiant jungle. I think this is a play that worked really well for them last time round, so it's nice to see them repeating it. How can I walk straight by this this Lich and the CK here? Not going to see them yet because I don't think this ward quite has vision, but
Oh no.
oh, they are.
Oh, so they would have been seen. They would have been spotted here. So they know that this is happening. So they've managed to avoid this pretty well. Creator. Oh, look at Creator's items. No regen. Just oh.
Oh, he is
Just
feeling himself.
well, he's probably just gonna get some tangos sent out on the courier. Meanwhile,
yeah, it looks like we're going to do the standard trade again. So just some 2 for 2. Not going to have any huge fights coming up here.
See what the block game's
either
like.
side.
Oh, missed the block. Meanwhile, all slight miss on the block. Oh.
All things perfectly balanced, except slightly more balanced in Neb's favor.
Yeah, this is gonna be quite an interesting one in terms of the how these lanes are gonna go. Because again, this is the lane to watch. The two immortals going head to head.
Oh, definitely.
And so far going in the Death Prophet's favor, which is kind of to be expected, I'd say. But they both managed to avoid getting anything denied, so they are still both going to get access to their second spell. However,
yeah.
this trade looks like it might.
Gonna try and get the arcane curse down for the silencer here, which
should
be
really
able to
close.
Save him.
Oh,
take that Death Prophet very low there, but got some regen coming out, so should both be able to just keep that sustain going for a little bit longer. Meanwhile, up top, we are going to see these two supports going head to head.
Tusk just yeets himself at the. CS lol there from the Undying. Terrible. I will make sure to take clips of that later for my enjoyment. Meanwhile, looking down bottom, we've got
this Tusk is going to be a very tough support here to lane against for the Rubik. You know, it has lots of ways to just get on top of you and really cause a bit of pain.
Meanwhile, Creator is seemingly struggling on the mana front, but a little bit better off for health, whereas Death Prophet has.
I'm not sure if he's going to have the mana to really try and prevent this kill coming out, but
not really. No,
he's going to dive
there
for
we go. Yep, that's the first blood.
Will take a lot of damage on the side of Neb here, but he does already have his bottle, so that's a very nice pickup there because now he'll be able to secure both of the runes if he so chooses, which is exactly where you want to be as a Death Prophet.
And even down to the moving the iron branches just out of the inventory before taking the next bit of healing. Oh, the efficiency just makes me so happy.
Meanwhile, top, this Dawnbreaker is taking a lot of damage here. The tombstones come out quite early, and it's putting a lot of strain on her HP here. You can see that because neither of them are ranged in this lane, they are really going to struggle to pick up the kills on this tombstone. So putting it just outside of the tower range here is an excellent way to just keep that pressure up.
Meanwhile, Creator's managed to get both of the null tallies finished now, so he's going to have a little bit more in the way of stats to be able to compete against this Prophet. Seemingly gone more down the buying consumables rather than getting a bottle. Which I kind of like. I like the ability to trade out a little bit, but seems to be content to just stand and take a lot of this damage from the Spirit Siphon, which seems quite counterintuitive to me. Meanwhile, top the Tusk and the Dawnbreaker managed to get the kill there on the Rubik, leaving Nez feeling a little bit uncomfortable.
Yeah,
It's
it's
fine.
it's a tough lane here for this Rubik, as we said. You know, you don't have a much HP, so if the Tusk does catch you and is able to snowball on you, it's a lot
Another
of damage.
fight mid. Another fight mid. Oh, yeah. Neb manages to chunk down the silencer again. I think the silencer is just really overvaluing how much the nukes do compared to the heal of the Spirit Siphon. If you look, Death Prophet's got 3 levels in Spirit Siphon, so the
Yeah,
the
so if
amount
we
of
take a look there, like, that's 75 damage every tick. That's a lot of damage there. And
yeah, and
being able to have charges now, which is obviously a change that was brought in relatively recently in terms of the history of Death Prophet. It just enables you to have even more go time and just be able to keep up this sustain.
I felt like I remembered it having charges to begin with, but as a long time ago, I have slept since then. So who who knows? And meanwhile, if you look at this disparity, I mean, Rieta's only just hit level 5, and this Death Prophet's already 6. You know,
And
if
Neb's
she's
just
so
gonna
inclined.
keep diving. Like,
oh, she's actually going! What a lunatic! Meanwhile, there could potentially be a punish there from the. And they managed to get the Death Prophet. Massive overextension there from the Death Prophet, which is really going to help Rieta get back into this game a little bit and give them some much needed solo farming time.
Yeah, definitely. That was a really nice rotation there for them from the Lich, and definitely needed, because if it wasn't, that was a dead silencer. And also, you'd put a lot of damage here on the side of the Radiant's Tier 1 tower too. So you could have potentially seen a dead tower down here too. Oh,
however, at the same time,
very nice arrow there onto the CK, and they're able to get that kill onto the Legion Commander there. Nice that you're able to get the last hit onto your carry. Very nicely timed arrow there, so good job.
Yeah, the other downside with all of this, though, is that even though they just got the kill on the Death Prophet, Silencer still had to go and leave the lane.
The Death Prophet is now rotating up top, though.
Yep.
She's going to try and help turn this lane into a 1-1. Easily able to get the kill onto Nez. And the snowball in for this this Rubik too. Desperately trying to stay alive, but he's got 3 heroes diving that tower for him. He is definitely going down.
Do you know what you just saw? What you just saw in all that moment is you saw a Rubik go through the 5 stages of grief in terms of wondering whether or not they're going to live or not. This is... Oh, good lord, the rotations are...
Tusk now. Going to be able to get the snowball onto the silencer. Getting it very low, but this TP coming out from Nez here on the Undying. Get the tomb down.
And the...
Super low on this Tusk. Going to be able to pick up that kill. Very nicely done there on the side of the Radiant. And the silencer is even able to live.
I'm liking the rotations coming from the Puffins a lot here. They're much better than the game we saw the other day, where once rotations were getting made, they weren't really doing much about it. Whereas we're actually seeing a good little bit of... We're seeing a lot more fight back than we saw in the last game against Dragons. However, with that said, we are 7.5 minutes into the game, and the Pirates do have a 3-minute net worth lead already. We've got a level disparity from the Legion Commander against this CK. So it's... CK is going to struggle a little bit as time goes on, but has gone most points in the Chaos Strike, so the sustain is there. Meanwhile, we need to watch out for this Tusk. Oh dear.
Gonna be able to snowball into mid there, and there's 3 heroes, so he's got absolutely no hope of surviving that gank. And
the rotations.
Even an arcane rune there for the Death Prophet, so I think she'll take that.
Oh, she's gonna go down bottom. Go down bottom towards the... Oh lord.
Gonna be able to get this duel out onto this Lich. Very nicely picked up for this first duel damage of the game. And they could dive for this CK, but I think instead they're gonna look to try and nuke this tower down.
There we go.
And if they're able to catch him, then I think they will, but I think the focus is definitely gonna be on this tower.
Well, I feel like largely, I think the reason that this is good they're going this way rather than trying to focus on taking mid is that largely this Death Prophet has had a much better game than this Silencer already. The Silencer is having to go first item, first 4-staff. It wasn't even really going to have that much in terms of a damage or farming item, aside from the tiny bit of attack damage that you get from being an int hero. Whereas they've just taken the carries down bottoms lane. So now this Chaos Knight just has a lot less space to farm. So it's gonna be really hard to make space for Demon to be able to come back into this game. It doesn't mean it's impossible, but again, we're now seeing a 5k net worth lead. And if you look, it's the top 3 heroes all quite comfortably on the side of the pirates there. Yeah, it's exactly the split you kind of see in games like this. The top three Dire, next 3 Radiant, and then it's Dire, Radiant. So
but even more pressingly, the top Radiant hero is Nez on this pos 3 Undying, which is not where you want your game to be at when you're playing this. And if we take a look at the Silencer build as well, these 3 Null Talismans, they only really work when you actually have some game impact. Without them, the Silencer now just has extra intelligence and nothing really to help him survive. He's not even able to pick up this casual fluffy hat.
Yeah, I feel like it's...
They are going to be able to... Oh, they looked like they were going to try and make a go there on the side of the Radiant. CK sending out his stun and popping his ult too
look how
onto
clumped
this
up they are. Look how...
But Dire definitely decide they want to try and see if they can poke this, if they can get a fight in their favor. This Mirana is walking out, going to be able to purge off all of Silencers.
So bad.
Yeah, so
Meanwhile,
this is exactly
if you look at the Death
Prophet,
Death Prophet's just making use of the space, knowing that the Carty's there, and they're just going to focus on getting this bit. Oh, look at this!
They are going to bring out all of these spells onto this Death Prophet now, though, and they're easily going to be able to take that down. So that is the disadvantage of not playing close to your Legion, not able to purge any of this. But the Tusk is going to try and come back in, going to snowball in onto this Silencer, getting a lot of Starstorm damage there onto the Silencer from this Mirana, able to leap away. Looks like they should be able to just extract on the side of the Dire now, but Radiant still look like they want to see if they can force something. No, just going to disperse now and walk back to their respective jungles. Nice fight there for the Radiant, being able to pick up the kill onto this Death Prophet, but unfortunate that they were forced to trade the Silencer in return.
Very important that Nez seemed to know exactly when I had them had camera on them, because they just dropped the dance out for us. So thank you very much for that, Nez. Very, very much appreciated. Meanwhile, looking back at the mid, we've got the Death Prophet, who's still just pushing down, even though the ult is gone. You know, they're still going to be able to use the Crypt Swarm to be able to just nuke the waves down and be able to chunk it down that way.
This Tusk is in a little bit deep, though. Silencer does catch him and is able to get the Arcane Curse on, but does have the snowball.
Oh, the arrow on the Silencer!
Very nice.
However,
and the
they
CK's
have been able
going to try and come in onto the
punish.
Tusk.
Meanwhile, the Death Prophet seems to know when the biggest problem is going to be the Silencer, because if you look, she's already building a Yules.
Yeah, it's a very good item on the Death Prophet anyway. It helps to set up the silence and also just give extra time in the Spirit Siphon as well, because obviously you will you'll always be Spirit Siphoning even when you or the target is Yulesed as well. So it's a good item here for this DP, and shouldn't be too far behind. Actually, I think it's on the courier now, so yeah, pick up there. Does have a DD bottled as well, so that'll be a nice addition too. They are smoking up on the side of the Radiant, looking to see if they can get a bit of a fight going here onto Iggy. We'll try and put out the Ice Shards, stolen by the Rubik here. She's going to be able to get away, but nice blinking from the CK there, able to get the stun. Chase. Oh, nice stun from there though. Put the silence out, but not enough. Gonna be able to take down Iggy there. Very nice silence.
Oh,
and there's a fight going on in mid as well. This LC is getting very low. Nice arrow coming out there onto the Lich. Just able to save up this LC. Gonna be able to get some damage on there onto the Rubik too, but not going to be enough to make them want to back away. Very nice save there onto that LC. Fantastic arrow. And they want to go back in for more. They're going to pop Exorcism, and they're going to try and Spirit Siphon onto this CK. Nice Ice Shards coming out, trapping him in place, and he is not able to go anywhere.
Oh no.
Trying to get this Undying down too. Oh, so much damage going out. Not quite able to pick up the dual damage there on the LC, but will be able to keep that silencer controlled with the dual there. And they're going to go onto the Undying again. Nice stun coming out from Iggy, able to control Nez. Ice Shards just misses the Lich there, so they will be safe for now. But, oh, you don't really want to be walking down onto low ground there, Lich.
Yeah, we are now at the point in the game where this is just starting to get really rough for the side of the Radiant. Oh, the stolen arrow! No,
not going to hit anyone.
Oh, shame.
Did look like they were going to look to see if they could Roche. They still might. No, Iggy's just going to walk straight on past the pit. Back to the jungle. That's where he wants to be.
Carry after my own heart.
CK is going to pop his ult up here top to try and defend this tower. It does have quite a low cooldown, so not a bad idea inherently. Able to farm a little bit safer by putting that ult illusion first. So always a good shout there. But do you have quite a lot of dire heroes up here in this jungle area, so we might need to be a little bit careful. Does have his Rubik and the Undying backing him up now, but could potentially still see a fight up there. Yeah, we do have these two dire heroes diving into the Radiant jungle here, looking to see if they can find a pick off. Gonna try and hide away on the silencer here.
So they would have seen if Riot was paying attention there to the Death Prophet, they will have seen that they did use Mirana ult, so they hopefully should play cautiously.
Yeah, and that's why the scans come out into the jungle here. But unfortunately, the Lich has just strayed a little bit too close and has been caught out by the LC. Not quite enough damage to get the dual victory, but it's going to be able to help secure the kill for Neb. Snowball coming out onto this Rubik here. Will able to lift and get a stun onto the LC, but I don't think it's going to be enough. This jump forward from the... Very nicely done. Spirit Siphon is extremely strong and helps secure them that kill too. And they are going to look to take down this mid-tier 2 tower with this Mirana solo pushing it at the speed of grass growing.
Why not at this point? Yeah, this just feels like a game that, again, much like the game against the Pirates last week, I'm now at the point where I'm not entirely sure how they come back. I think we need to get like a giant fight where the Lich manages to catch loads of them with the ult.
If we take a look at the win probability now, we are currently 94% in favor of the Dire, and there's going to be another fight breaking out top as well. They're able to catch this CK, get the jewel off, Spirit Siphon coming out, and it's going to be enough damage this time to take it down in the jewel and get some extra damage for this LC, standing at 38 now. This LC has been putting these jewels out primarily to help the team, and they're just going to go straight into Roche from here, and why not?
Yeah, this is...
should be a very fast Roche as well, and I don't
in theory,
think that Radiant have got enough of an idea, if an idea at all, to be able
well, they've
to...
smoked.
I don't think they're going to try and go for it, though. I don't think... Oh, they are going to be able to meet this Mirana up here on the Lich. Putting out the Frost Shield, try and protect himself. Arrow coming out, gonna stun this Rubik. Very nicely done there. And
yeah,
meanwhile,
they know
this
it's
Roche
happening.
is going down very quickly. It's going to be dead before I can even give you a time estimate. Pick up on the Death Prophet Neb there. And going to try and go in for some kills here. Able to pick up the silence on the Lich. Spirit Siphon coming out. And the jewel. Very nicely done there. And I think this LC, she wants more, but is she going to die? No, they're going bot. They've seen this silencer bot. And Iggy wants to go. Going to be able to get the dispel there, so he will be able to keep chasing. Blink in from the LC, searching for the silencer, and he's sandwiched between them. He is definitely going to get caught out here. Putting the silence out, we'll just try and TP away, and he's able to make it out. Very nicely done there. Really well read. Has a very good idea of what they're able to accomplish. Obviously, at this point in time, we don't have a stun, a bash on the Dawnbreaker, so won't be able to stop him there. And this LC was still waiting for her BKB, or isn't even building a BKB at the moment, so isn't able to purge off the stun there herself either, so no way of cancelling that. But at the same time, it wasn't that many spells expended from the Dire side, so it's not really a wasted initiation. Whereas Radiant have burnt through both Global Silence and this Silencer TP now, so if he is caught out again, would be a lot dicier for them. We'll pop the Mirana ult, see if they're able to move up into this triangle where there are two very juicy targets, and they'll be able to spot this CK. Blink on from the tusk there, able to get the punch out, Jewel coming through, and Iggy ulting in. Nice kill picked up there onto the CK. Gonna get the silence down onto the Undying, but gonna switch targets here from Neb and try and go after this silencer. Not quite able to take him down. Gonna switch again to the Rubik. Easily able to pick up that kill. Picked up a kill on the Lich, and they're gonna try and trace down this Undying. Arrow misses, shards miss. Should just be able to walk away up high ground. Oh, but Death Prophet's gonna leap up in, and not quite deciding to go for him yet. Gonna spare Nez's life for now.
Yeah, this is just now at the point where they're 15k ahead at 20 minutes. It's really hard to see a way back in for the Radiant at this stage.
Yeah, this is a very strong showing once again from the Dire, and we are going to see this Death Prophet popping her ult here to go for this Dire for this Radiant tier 2 tower down in bot. Doesn't have the creeps pushed in at the moment, so just having to go back to get those, but shouldn't be long before they're able to melt through this tower here. And I don't think Radiant are even going to try and defend it here. I think they know that even an attempt would be foolish.
Yeah,
Death Prophet does get herself quite low there, but obviously, as we Dota players will know, Exorcism will heal her up quite nicely once it's finished, and so it does.
Yeah, I just think that the Puffins quite right in the decision just to let Sleeping Towers lie at that point.
Blink punch out there onto the CK illusion, and they do spot the real CK up here in top lane with this lane ward that they've got, but Neb's decided not quite well supported enough to go in for the kill. Instead, we'll just look to push this lane in and try and take this tower. It is the final outer tower here, so very important one for them. Means that the base will be truly unopposed once they're able to get to that point.
Yeah, they're just giving whatever farm they can to the Chaos Knight and the Silencer just to try and see if they can get them back into this game somewhat. But oh lord, didn't we just see Exorcism end a moment ago, and it's already back up?
Yeah, it's a very strong spell. Look at that, 150 seconds there. It's not very long cooldown at all, especially not when you think that it has a 35-second duration as well.
Yeah, it feels much longer than that, doesn't it? But
a lot can happen in a very short space of time, so does look like they're going to try and hold it. This is, after all, a tier 2. 50% HP. Don't really need to pop that Exorcism here. Not yet, at least.
No, they're going to be looking at the. They're going to save it for the T3, I would imagine.
Yeah, and this is now a Dire side who are pretty much set up to go for high ground. Obviously, we have just watched the Aegis be reclaimed, so I have to be a little bit careful there. That would have been an incredible time to go high ground if they still had Aegis on this Death Prophet, but not to say that that will prevent them from going by any stretch of the matter.
Meanwhile, the win probability is we're now at 99 to 1.
There's still a chance.
Yeah, of course, but
there's always a chance.
The Chaos Knight looking to try and get the Sanjin Yasha just to try and tank up a little bit and sustain a little bit more in these fights. So it'll boost the healing he gets from the Chaos Strike and everything else with the attack speed and so
Yeah.
forth.
And Silencer looking to finish out a Hurricane Pike as well. Just to add that extra little bit of attack damage. How can I smoke up this LC and this Mirana in mid? Looks like they want to go for a fight here, but not quite sure how to push it.
I feel that the
they know this is
LC
an
just
illusion.
waiting patiently.
That's one of the best advantages of the smoke. They can suss out whether or not it's a real CK or not. It's a very nice ward here in the Radiance base as well. I love this little corner ward. And they're going to look to try and push up this high ground now. I'm going to pop the Exorcism and put a Lotus onto this Death Prophet. She does take quite a bit of damage from this tower though, so might need to be a little bit careful. Oh, Link in with the jewel there, onto the Silencer. Nice arrow coming out. Easily going to be able to pick up the kill. Jump in, see if they can get this kill onto the CK. Going to be able to pick it up, and Iggy's coming in, able to pick up this kill onto Nez, who will buy back. Going to dive in with the Dawnbreaker to take the Lich down as well. This Tusk is so low, but it's going to be the LC that they're able to pick up a kill on returning. Oh, the shard coming out from Iggy, giving him that spell immunity, able to take Nez down for a second time, CK down for a second time, and Silencer just left here on the back lines, casting his spells, and barely even able to touch these heroes. They are so strong at this point. Obviously, Iggy will have to suffer through this Arcane Curse without his purge from the LC, but I don't think he really cares. Burning through 4 buybacks there on the side of the Radiant, and 2 diebacks too. And they're going to go in for more, trying to get through onto the Silencer. Nice full Staff and Glimmer there. Going to snowball in onto the Rubik. So much damage coming out there with the with the Death Prophet too. And she wants to go for this Silencer again. She's going to try and get the Spirit Siphon. Not enough. Oh, very nice zap there. Able to pick up the Tusk in return. Poor Tusk.
This game just... Yeah, we're past the 1K net worth lead a minute. It feels like this is just a done deal at this stage. But at the same time, I'm quite pleased that the Radiant are holding out as best as they can, just to get whatever experience they whatever thing that they can learn as a team from this.
Yeah, and we're gonna see these Dire heroes don't really want to push an advantage and lose their lead, so easily gonna just make the decision to back out here. The Stormbreaker TP top almost straight away. She wanted her farm, and obviously this ult, not a very long cooldown, so able to rejoin these fights and have this very global presence once again. So a good hero to be able to just take these take these opportunities to TP away and farm up on. And I think they're going to start trying to play for this next Roche, which is going to respawn in just over a minute at this point. So moving around here on the side of the Dire. Won't be too long before they're able to pick it up if they do decide to wait, but seeing this Tusk just start to move back into mid lane. Gonna get this punch onto the Lich. He's found him isolated. Snowball, Ice Shards, able to pick up the kill. Will lift him over the shards though on the Rubik. Makes him a little bit more vulnerable, but just gonna be able to walk away. Do the old turn around, close your eyes, walk away.
Meanwhile, the Dire are looking. They're waiting for that. They're waiting for that second Roshan. I wonder who they give the shard to in this instance. Quite a couple of good shard options here. You've got the... I'd probably say you give it to the Death Prophet for the Spirit Siphon Fear. Because they
Spirit
didn't
Siphon
have enough
here is
control
very
already.
good. A very nice arrow coming out from the Mirana here onto the CK. Going to be able to get a very long stun here. Taking the CK down super low, but the silence coming out. He's going to force himself back into the fight. Or turn back into the fight after being forced stabbed away. Able to pick up the kill here. And the silencer is so far forward now. Caught out from his base by these ice shards. They're just going to keep running down for even more. Going to be chasing down this Rubik.
Oh.
Gonna try and get this Lich Ult out here, but so many forms of spell immunity now. I don't think Dire care. And they're even gonna start diving the fountain for this Lich kill. GG is called, and I think
what can you do?
I think there is very little that you could have done in those final moments there. 33-7, and Pirates take the victory. Very, very nicely done there by a very strong team, as we knew they were going to be.
Hmm.
Do you have any kind of thoughts of points where that game particularly went wrong? Is there anywhere that we could have seen a very different outcome?
So what I will say is that in the early stages, the Puffins reacted quite well to the Pirates. The Pirates with their rotations, they were actually able to rotate. They were able to make counter rotations and actually force a little bit of trading. So honestly, well done to the Puffins for being able to take what kills they did take. Like, I know I was planning on dunking on them because of my friends, but for real, they did. I'm actually really proud of how well they did in terms of being able to stay like moderately competitive for a little while. But if you start to look at this graph, for a little while we're getting to the sub 10-minute mark, and then it just plummets downwards because the Pirates, a much more coordinated team, they were able to just keep going with the rotations and they just kept constantly taking heroes off the map and having the forethought to take the safe lane tower down bottom before taking mid, because they'd already managed to shut down Creator on the silencer. So it was about hobbling the Chaos Knight and taking him out of the game as well. Whereas I don't think the Puffins really had an answer for it. So I'd say that was really kind of where it went wrong, is that the Pirates just kept up and they couldn't keep fighting back effectively forever.
Yeah, if we take a look at some of these graphs as well, these net worth graphs, 10-minute mark, you've got your mid, your 3, your carry, all in this top net worth position in perhaps not the order you'd expect from the side of the Dire. And then after that, if you take a look at the comparison between the two mids, it's like 2k net worth at 5 minutes difference between these two mids. That's a huge difference. It's almost like 50% of a difference between the two of them. And it doesn't really get much better for them as you go along. I mean, yeah, if we take a look at 20 minutes, this CK has been able to kind of salvage his game a little bit and is coming out on top of the net worth on the side of the Radiant. But I think that's more of a representation of the fact that Radiant changed their playstyle in order to try and just enable him a little bit more, with Nez making these rotations and sort of losing out on her own game in terms of this added farm, because she only goes up about 1,000 gold in difference between those 2 points. So she's definitely changed the way that she's trying to play this game, instead of being this 3 to try and put this pressure into the lane, which clearly works because she doesn't allow this Dawnbreaker to just go crazy out of the laning phase. And then they move to just trying to give this CK a bit more of a chance, and it does yield some results, but it clearly was not enough to stop the absolute just domination from either Neb or Riggy there, or even the LC. That was an incredibly strong game from all of them. And we talked about it a little bit in game, but some of those ults from the LC, they weren't very selfish they're doing them for the dual damage. We're holding this hero here and we're getting the kill. And there were lots of times where that meant that the duel timed out. So there was no damage, but it meant that the team were there and able to pick up the kill. So it was just really well executed and a really great way of approaching the game and making sure that every part of it fits in where it should.
It's a team game. That's something that a lot of people at pubs at our level tend to forget, that it is a team game.
Yes, and this was a fantastic example of how to do a team version of the game very right.
Absolutely.
Well, I think we will take a little bit of a break whilst we get ready for the second game of this evening. We'll be watching the Goats take on the Dragons. We will hopefully be able to let you know how some of the other teams have fared off screen as well. But we will see you very shortly for our second game.
See you in a moment.
Hello and welcome back to the Welsh Esports League for Week 2 of the DOTA2 division.
We interrupt this broadcast to bring you an important public service announcement. The Goats have a player who is playing with a Steam Deck. I wish I was joking.
I can't stop laughing about this.
So here's what happened. Ash, the Pulse 5, I believe, for the Goats, messaged me privately before this just to say, by the way, playing with the Steam Deck. And what happened is I went through the 5 stages of grief about 3 or 4 times in the space of about 6 or 7 seconds before just bursting out laughing, and I've not been able to control myself. The fact that I'm able to enunciate this with any clarity is basically a late Christmas miracle, much like Ash's acquisition of the Steam Deck.
There aren't many things that can render me speechless. But this is one of the very, very short list of things that can. So, unfortunately for one of the Goats players, he wasn't able to make it home to his actual PC in time, so is having to use an alternative method of making it to the league, which I have to commend as a top tier level of commitment to this league. That is what we what we want to see from all of our players. If you can't make it home, just get your Steam Deck out. Just get your Steam Deck out. Just play with the Steam Deck. What's the problem?
Ladies, leave your PCs at home because the Steam Deck full of ballers. And the controller's full grown.
Total excuses, you know? I'm not at home. Well,
Xbox controller meta. Here we go.
So this is going to be a wild game. So I've been thinking about this a little bit because I do want to try Dota on a Steam Deck at least once. I mean, I have one. I have Dota. So clearly these two things need to be put together. And this is something that we've had a couple of discussions about in my friend group. What hero would you want to be playing on a Steam Deck or any kind of controller when it comes to Dota? Because it's very difficult. For people who don't know the game, it requires a lot of buttons. So a controller is tough. It's very tough.
Wraith King.
So Wraith King is one, but then I wonder if the fact that you want a lot of active items for Wraith King then counteracts the lack of active spells.
Yeah, I'm trying to think who else. Could you imagine playing Meepo or Invoker or Arc Warden on a Steam Deck?
No.
I'm just going to say this now. If I don't see Pos 5 Meepo from the Ash on the Steam Deck, I'm calling him a coward every day for the rest of my life. I think that's reasonable. Fair and balanced.
I'm gonna take a no on that one. But I mean, I can't control your friendships. That's definitely not in my jurisdiction here. I'm just here for the ride.
Yeah.
The ride of watching someone play Pos 5 on a Steam Deck.
Any chance of us taking this entirely seriously has just with one sentence, Ash has shattered the idea of me taking this even remotely seriously.
So there is one.
I'm so happy for it.
There was one message in the lobby chat just before we got into the game that said, "I hope we all have a terrible time."
Oh, that is okay. So, for those of you who don't necessarily know, there's a lot of again, we've seen some teams who are incredibly strong and are clearly really dominant, and there's some people here that are just here for the memes and are here for the fun and the friendship. And I'll tell you, that's what I'm here for. That's my bag. So right, okay, let's pretend that there is a modicum of seriousness about this. What are we thinking for the first ban? The reserve time. Oh no, Ash is the one drafting. How does drafting work on a Steam Deck? Oh no! Oh, he found it. He banned the Tusk.
So fortunately, this is not the GOAT's first game of the day, so they should have all the technical aspects figured. I'm sorry, I'm still completely creased.
Oh, they found the ban straight away again from the Razor. So we're gotten some fairly standard strong bans in the first stage from the GOATs, Tusk, Razor. I've been in a fair few games with Fleur, and Fleur, from my experience, does not enjoy playing against good Tusks. So that feels like a Ash, please ban this, and I can't say I blame her at all. Meanwhile, a Nyx ban from the Dragons from the first phase. I'm gonna say that someone has some pub PTSD against Nyx there. A bit of an interesting first stage ban.
And they're banning out this Mirana as well, which we know is a firm favourite with Fleur. I think Nyx as well, just very strong if you've got any heroes that do AoE uninterruptible damage. So, like, for example, things like Jakiros, Snipers, Enigmas, you know, just very tough to lane those against. And they're going to bring out a techies. Okay.
Oh, here we go! Ash techies, we're in. Oh, he's done it. The absolute mad lad has done it. I'm so happy.
So techies was something I hoped we might see, but didn't expect to see. And I definitely didn't expect to see it from a team whose main techies player is currently playing on a controller attached to their Steam Deck.
On a Steam Deck. I mean, okay, so I don't know how the controls are gonna work for your camera. I feel like it's your right analog stick. So once you've placed your mark, you got to level 6. You've placed a couple of mines. You're looking around the map. You're looking for a jump with the E. And getting the sticky bombs down, I think it's viable. Meanwhile, Dragons picking a Lich as their first pick. How comparatively boring.
Boring, but very strong. It's a great hero.
Yeah.
It's a fantastic hero in lane as well. The nuke from his Q is insanely strong, and if you've got some mana regen, RIP sacrifice. You know, it's just a very good lane. So very, very highly picked hero at the moment, and rightly so. And they'll pair it up with an Earthshaker too. Really nice pairing of heroes here. With this Sinister Gaze, keeping, especially if the game goes long enough for this Lich to get nags. I know that's a long caveat there, but you know, if you're able to get that AoE Sinister Gaze and set up that very strong Echo Slam, then God, wouldn't that be every Earthshaker's dream though? Like,
let's go one further. Let's say Lich is going mid and is going a Gleipnir while we're at it, shall we?
Why not? I mean,
yeah, let's do it. I mean, we've got a player who's playing on a Steam Deck.
Yeah, anything goes.
Anything goes now. Like we're way beyond. We're way past the looking glass here now. At this point,
let's take up that rulebook, rip it into shreds, and just go with it. Like, who knows?
Oh, we've got a Crixalis with the good old Sand King to go along there, so I feel that's almost certainly going to be our offlaner.
We do love a
So
Sand King.
oh, I love Sand King. It's not. It felt for a little while like he wasn't strong, and then I don't know what's happened, but he's getting picked up. He's getting picked up an awful lot at the moment. I feel like it's the Did he get buffed recently? Let's have a little quick look see if
It's
there's
just a
anything
very
in the.
strong hero as Sand King. You know, it's tough to lane against, especially when you're a melee laner. So going up against the Sand King is difficult and do a lot of damage to a stun, a blind. You know, lots of utility, and it's always been a very strong hero. I'm a big fan of a Sand King.
Yeah, the abilities.
What kind of heroes do you like to see paired off with a Sand King, or do you not have much preference?
I like a ranged hero that has a stun, or even another stun, so you can layer the stuns nice and well, get a good lot of harass, or even something that has its own other kind of control. But eventually, after a little while, once the Sand King's got level 5 and has got 3 points in that sandstorm, as long as the Sand King is vigilant about keeping detection away from where they're planning the sandstorms to be, they can kind of just be left on their own, so they can focus on getting that blink and getting that big old initiation in, which is certainly a lot easier now that you can stop channeling the ult and you don't lose it, which has
that was a
really made the difference
change
for heralds like myself,
Yeah, it's also just a massive quality of life change as well. It's a very good change there. I'm a big fan of that. So you're saying another ranged hero with a stun, so potentially a techies with a shard?
I mean, I feel like this techie is more likely going to be played pos 5 because you put Ashe in a team with a techies and you don't let Ashe play the techies. That's an abandon. I don't think he'd do that to his team, but I feel like there's no. I feel like it's a lot more likely that this techies is going to be pos 5. So I'm thinking about heroes that Fleur could play. We could potentially be seeing the pos 4 Dazzle coming out of Fleur here, because the slow from the poison attack really plays really well into other things, that's into Sand King's stun and even the caustic. So that could potentially be something. Not that I'd think that Fleur is going to play her most played hero. No insider knowledge there at all, honest.
Yeah, and the Dazzle as well. Once you get your shard, get this hex, that's almost a stun.
Yeah, no, it's a really good disable. I think
it's a great hero to pair it with. Even just having that slow from poison attack with epicenter make it a little bit more difficult for these heroes to escape. Just early disable on any blinks that the enemies have, so you're able to get these counter blinks in from your own team as well, to set up these, like the epicenter, set up the Sand King stuns, set up this fat techies blast off,
the profit from the dragons, so that's more than likely going to be the offlaner, but we could quite easily see this profit played in any other position, really. It's such a versatile hero.
10 seconds.
Yeah, it's always a very strong hero as well. This, again, it's talking about these kind of global capabilities. If you don't know the hero, it has its own ability to TP anywhere on the map, so it makes it very maneuverable. It means that you're easily able to get to fights, able to get pickoffs, able to chase down heroes who are running away, just kind of like by intercepting them. It's a really good hero, and there comes the Dazzle.
It's almost like I've played with a couple of these people a fair few hundred times.
Yeah, I
Who
know
knew?
that Dazzle is one of Flair's favorite heroes, so Dazzle, Mirana, both of them are
10
likely to get a pickup at some point during this league.
Yeah.
And if the
5
Mirana is
seconds.
banned and the Dazzle is not, then I guess we know where we're going to be going, don't we?
In the meantime, we're gonna get a Pudka. Getting a that is more than likely gonna be the POS one, considering that that's where Pudge is played now. Imagine someone 3 years ago telling you that Pudge would not only be a meta hero across all levels of MMR and pro play, but he would be played as a carry. Imagine
Yeah.
that 3 years ago.
Well, Pudge is by far the most picked hero in Dota. It's a very he's out there by quite a way.
But
So
played in pro level, both in pubs and in pro level games, and as a carry. It's
just across all skill levels. Pudge is the most picked hero. It's an insanely popular hero at the moment, and it has been for a very long time as well.
Yeah.
So Drow is a little bit of a scare for the goats. These are some quite big, chunky heroes, and Drow Shard obviously reduces your healing amp. Not great for a Dazzle, not great for a Pudge, even not that great for a Sand King either. And introduces hypothermia as well, so it's basically a cheaper Skadi, but in my opinion, a little bit better as well. So
it's also quite scary as well if you think about the positioning for the dragons. It's they've got two heroes that are going to be really good at cutting off access to this drow for a lot of this. So it's going to be really important for the techies to be able to get good jumps against the drow and try and sort of nuke her down. It's the jump from the Sand King is going to be critical, and if Pudge can get a cheeky little hook, then this drow is a massive target priority. But even with that, you're running the risk of letting Prophet because Prophet is no slouch in the damage department.
So
Meanwhile,
this is a little bit of a converse problem here. So we now have two heroes on the side of the dragons that do not want to be in the midst of the fight. They want to be on the outskirts. So that creates a little bit of a problem in two ways. One, in that if they aren't doing equal levels of damage, their main damage dealer will always be focused and they will just ignore the second. And two, in that if they're not careful, they're going to end up with two cores who don't want to be engaging in these fights, and they might end up seeing themselves a little bit lacking in the damage department if neither of these cores decide to come in and play.
I mean, the way that they deal with that is that they have the Prophet pushing out as far as possible to just be able to make space for this drow to be able to find some good farm. Meanwhile, we're now wondering what the final pick for the goats is going to be for the mid. Whoa, okay. So that means we're going to be seeing mid, Pudge, carry, anti-mage?
Potentially.
Okay.
I'm also a big fan of mid Sand King.
I mean, the anti-mage's Manta timing is going to be critical for the to deal with the drow silence.
And the inevitable MP Orchid pickup as well.
Yes. Well, saying that, the Nature's Prophet may not end up going the Orchid route.
I think up against the techies and a Dazzle and an anti-mage, I think that your best itemization here is definitely picking up this Orchid.
I would actually say the best bet might be the Acceptor because of the global route. Which is actually quite in vogue.
But the Orchid is an early pickup, say minute 7 or 8, and then your Ags is not going to be coming that quickly and shouldn't be coming that quickly because you don't need it at that point in the game. So you build up into this Orchid to enable you to get more kills, more pickoffs, so you're able to get the gold to farm up these bigger items. So I personally think that it's a fantastic pickup on any Prophet, especially particularly a core.
I mean, I love Orchid as well. However, I am conscious that we are seeing a lot of first item ags, and it's actually not that far, not that much difference in terms of net worth. It really just depends on which direction they end up going and how the lanes go. I would be happy with either item. I think that first item Orchid is as you're right, is classic profit. But I do also see a lot of value in the potential for maybe looking at the ags. We'll just have to see what they do. Meanwhile, very important drip check on the heroes there. Let's have a look at the cosmetics. What we got?
Looks like some nice cosmetics from the side of the Radiant here. You know, this Earthshaker Arcana there. Not the Drow Arcana though, so gonna have to subtract some points there.
Mask of Madness, I'd say that you kind of almost claw those points back from having the Mask of Madness. So naturally, we've got the Pudge Arcana there. Quite happy with that. The Anti-Mage, though, I'm so disappointed. We do not have Femme Anti-Mage.
Oh, now, so I have a lot of issues when it comes to always being Femme Anti-Mage, because I love Femme Anti-Mage, but I also have a very bright, very glowing Anti-Mage set. And, more importantly, the Anti-Mage Taunt, which does not work on Personas.
Yeah, that's devastating. Valve, sort it out. Ice Frog's back in the game now. I'm sure he can sort that out, right? So we've got
I think if there were some cosmetics on the Anti-Mage, I could forgive not being Femme Anti-Mage, but there aren't, so...
Yeah, looking at the setup here, looks like it's just going to be a standard trade of lanes. Although saying that,
they will be able to get some damage here onto Fleur, but not going to be able to do enough to stop her picking up that bounty rune. So 3 picked up there for the Dire. Very nice. I'm sure you'll happily take that, and we'll be seeing the as we expected, this Puck going up in mid up against the Pudge, this MP going top with the Earthshaker, and the Drow and Lich heading bottom to face up against Fleur's Dazzle.
Legendary.
And this Sand King too.
Meanwhile, we're having a look at how the last hits are going so far. Pudge is already peeling ahead of this Puck, which is kind of to be expected. It's really hard to win a last hit battle against Pudge. He's got so much early right click damage, especially with that. Meanwhile,
I am entirely uncertain as to what happened there, but that was the last time I blinked and Fleur was pretty much 80% HP and then straight down to 0 here. It's definitely something they're going to have to be a little bit careful of in this bot lane. As I said, this Lich is a hugely dominant laning presence, and has some mana regen here, some clarities, some mangoes.
Meanwhile, looking top. We look top. Look at that. Oh!
Just in time to see that NP fall to the ground there.
And on bottom.
Jeez, this is a kill fest in this game already, and we're not even 2 minutes in. Pretty nice trades here. Gonna be a bloodbath. Yeah, so these are some nice pickups here for the Dire side. You know, getting kills on this MP and leaving this Drow alone. I don't think they're quite ready to punish Drow being alone at the moment, but if you're able to get that later on in the game, then you'll definitely take that. Meanwhile, this Earthshaker taking a little bit of damage, but gonna just walk away from the techies. Classic close your eyes and walk away. My favorite. Drow still a little bit looking a little bit dicey here for this Drow. She should probably get some regen pretty quickly, but or maybe she can. Oh, she's munching through her tangos at the moment. Actually, I take it back. You can only eat so fast.
The last hit war going quite well in the Dire's favor. They're already 1k ahead, which isn't much, but you know it's. There's a possibility that we might have another. Fleur manages to survive.
Yeah, gonna try and get a lot of damage onto this drow here. Gonna just turn and put the silence on. Just mean that they can't chase after. Very nicely done there. I was watching mid a little bit of a rune battle. Pudge just missed the water rune, and Puck was able to sneak on in there and pick it up instead. Very smoothly played.
Have you ever missed a hook as Pudge?
I don't play Pudge, so I can't miss hooks. Meanwhile, this Techie's mask going down onto the MP. Gonna be able to take him down very low HP. Gonna split this one with the anti-mage, though, is Arash. So, still very good. If you can get these early kills onto your offlaners as an anti-mage. Look at this AM build as well. Clearly very aggressive. Got 6 mangoes in that inventory and a ring of health.
We've been seeing this a lot recently in pubs. There's a game, I believe it was Tundra versus Secret, where Skeeter went into lane as a Spectre with 8 mangoes.
Yeah, 6 mangoes.
It's just, it's the value health regen. They give 0.6 health regen. Anti-mage currently sat with a ring of health and 6 mangoes is getting almost 13 health regen a second. That's bonkers.
Yeah, it's very strong. But what are we seeing here? What is this anti-mage doing? Why is he at the tier 1 tower? Anti-mage, what are you doing? Take a lot of damage here from this tower. If he's not careful, he might go down too. MP TPing in to try and get the kill here. Gonna try and get this Techie's blast off, but it's not quite gonna be enough. Very nice blink out there from the AM. I mean, really don't know what that was about. That was...
I've got 2 words. 20.9. That's what was going on. Currently just sitting all the health regen in the world. Just doesn't care. Just do what he wants. And the land of the bomb. Clearly, the Steam Deck meta is working well for this. Techies.
Yeah, it's a bit of a painful lane to be in as a prophet at this stage, isn't it? You know, this early harass from the Techies is pretty strong. Looks like they're gonna try and go onto this Lich again, but gonna get the poison touch in and the stun out. So much slow, which is easily able to get down Jiggly on the Lich there. Nice
Fleur just stealing a last hit off of the Sand King. Sorry to interrupt there. Very capital offense,
behavior.
Capital crime.
I'm gonna try and get a little bit of damage on this anti-mage top, but it's really not enough when you've got this Techies.
Yeah, this is I think I've got a funny feeling. If you look at the last hits at the moment, you know, Pudge is clearly dominating this Puck as well. The Puck has not long got level 6, and Pudge is most of the way towards level 7. So it's already quite clear that he's been a dominant lane for this Pudge. Not necessarily got a kill, but don't necessarily always need to. Just need to be a certain dominance in them creep score battles, really, don't you?
Yeah, you're really like preventing this Puck from getting anywhere, which is exactly what you want to be seeing. And both of these side lanes are having quite a lot of action going on at the moment. Really trying to push in bot here with the Dazzle, getting a lot of damage. But we're going to see this ult coming out mid onto the Pudge. Very nicely done there. Going to get a lot of damage onto the Puck, but she should be able to just walk away. Yeah, and she will be able to. Meanwhile, Fleur's desperately having to TP out there because the NP TP down bot. Grave only just saving her there. Will sprout the SK, and doesn't look like he's going to be able to pick up anything. He is surrounded by 3 heroes here. Got a lot of chip damage coming out, but Seske's already got his Vanguard up. Gonna blink in, stun in onto the Lich, and gonna take a lot of damage here from this Frost Shield. Clicked down by, mostly by the MP there. I think that'll be a very nice addition to his lane, but does just let this AM continue to farm.
Missed hook from mid. Imagine missing a hook, couldn't be me. is me a lot. But yeah, the I feel like the Sand King could quite possibly have survived that if he decided to use the stun to try and sort of back away. Chose to go for a bit of additional damage and try and get a return kill, which I think is a little bit on the... Oh, pause here.
Oh,
Oh,
player
dear.
dropped. Oh no.
Oh no.
That's not what you want to see.
Here's the here's the question: Was it the Steam Deck?
Was it the
has
Steam Deck?
Oh, it looks like they're back. They're back in. Oh, look at the politeness here from the
Ultimately, that is what we want to see. We want to see
Good.
people being very, very kind to each other. We are all in exactly the same league after all.
Good sports personship.
We are going to see this Dazzle walk mid. Not sure what Flair's going to be able to do. After she TP'd out, she did go to the tower instead of back to the fountain. So it's been very slowly regenning. And yep, she's just going to turn around and walk straight back bot. Meanwhile...
Oh, Couriers might be able to get a little snipe.
Little
there we
courier
go.
dance.
Oh,
Oh, Flair's going to pause there to take the courier kill instead, so not quite
reasonable. Oh, the
able...
vicious prophet.
Gonna TP the MP in, get this Sprout onto the Dazzle. We'll try and Grave and TP away, but not gonna be able to because the Dream Coil comes out, stuns are in place. But this SK, he's gonna want to keep going here. These are two very low heroes. Doesn't quite have anything to keep chasing though, so these Frost Arrows are gonna be very effective, just stopping him from running at these heroes. Although he might be able to cut off the puck here. Does have a Mango, will be able to get the stun. But I don't think this is going to be a kill coming out. Although the puck does have quite low mana here. Is going to be able to jaunt away at the... Nice attempt at a hook, but not quite on track there. And meanwhile, they will be able to get a kill on the Earthshaker in the top lane too, whilst all of this is going on. That was a lot of rotations there to the Radiant bot tower. So...
And if you switch to the net worth, you can see the real tail of the tape, the real downside to such a heavy rotation to only get a pulse 4, and that the goats are now really starting to peel ahead in terms of net worth, just using the space really effectively. This anti-mage is already most of the way towards the Battle Fury.
Yeah, and it's one of the good things about starting with so much health return on this anti-mage. You aren't ever really pressured out of lanes, so you're just able to keep farming up and get these items exactly where you want them. Although, speaking of, they are going to make this huge rotation in the top lane, put the Dream Coil out so he's not able to blink away. Oh, he's going to snap it in a really unfortunate position, but is just able to get the blink off. Very low HP. They will be able to take the techies down, but I think they will happily take a pos 5 for a pos infant's life instead. And,
every time.
Not going to be able to get the snipe on this anti-mage from the NP either. Sent the ult out, but they've just got no vision, so going to be able to be healed up by the Dazzle there. Even able to pick up that ward, and will also, I think, be able to defend this tier 1 tower too. Very successful there from Dire.
Fleur even able to get a stack off, mistimed it to be able to get both of them, but still got one, and one is better than none.
Onto the Echo. We'll try and chase this down with the anti-mage here. There's a lot of damage here. Gonna try and blink in, keep chasing to get the stun out. Try and pop the ult, but it's not enough, and this rotation from the Lich comes in clutch, able to pull him in. Doesn't have anything to save him, so they'll be able to take him down. And Flair's just going to have to back out a little bit here. Does have the techies now, but I'm not sure how much they're going to want to continue there.
Anti-Mage really kind of Icarus themselves a little bit there. But overall, still really strong showings, even with the Anti-Mage going a little bit overzealous.
They're going to be able to sprout this Pudge in mid lane. It's going to hook onto this Treant. And try and get some more damage in. We'll be able to take the Treant down. Will not be caring about this Dream Call because he already has his hood finished up. Gonna have a little bit of a rotation and a mid stare off now. 3 heroes on the side of the Radiant, whilst Pudge will go and pick up his second DD of the game and happily be able to take that to continue his farming. Pushing in on this tier 1 top 2, and the AM's already able to take it before I'm able to switch over. Very nicely picked up there. Just going to be able to open up his farming pattern a little bit easier, make it a bit tougher for these Radiant heroes to just rotate through and get these kills. So really nice early tower there. And they're also able to pick up the mid tower kill as well.
Yeah, this is starting to look really rough for the side of the dragons here. The goats just seem to really be making use of all the early space made by the over rotations from the dragons, and they're just able to punish them really hard for it, I'd say.
Yeah, this has been a really good start from the goats so far. Although it does look like Flair's going to be able to be caught out and picked up by this puck here, spotted by a ward that she does take out, but the puck knows their strengths. They're easily going to be able to pick up that kill and even pop an allied chat voice line. So
indeed, in the meantime, we just wanted to take a moment to concede defeat and point out that you were right. This Prophet does seem to be going for the Orchid first, so I doff my cap to you there. You were all right about which direction they decided to go in.
What can I say? I know my builds. Oh, they're going to be able to catch the Lich on this SK here. Going to be able to get the stun. Very nice jump in from the techies, but that's a huge dream coil. Puck's going to try and jump in. Echo Slam as well to take these heroes down, but they're just not dying. The Puck's going to fall. The Earthshaker's going to fall, and they've been able to pick up the MP too, top. And just once you're 3v1 as a drow, there is no helping you. Going to be able to pick up the kill, and there comes the ult there. Oof. That is a certified oof, I have decided.
Yeah, I mean, we all know what this is, don't we? This is the power of the Steam Deck. It's the power of the Steam Deck, just paying dividends for on the side of the goats.
Oh, and Puck wants to try and go in again. I don't think this is a good idea, Puck. Gonna try and jump in, but that means she can't jump out, and that SK is not letting her go anywhere. That's another kill for the SK.
That feels like a tilt TP, a tilt-a-port, if you will.
I think that was just Puck vastly misjudging what they were capable of at this moment. We're going to have a bit of a +5 standoff here. This Techies versus the Lich. I think I know who I favour, but Lich will have this backup of her drow, so going to be able to walk away from that without getting too injured.
We're at a 14k net worth lead at this point, Kit. It's just
yeah, if we take a look at this net worth and win probability graph, we're already at a 99 to 1. And as I say that, we're actually going to see the Lich gone on again. Nice stun coming in from the SK. Gonna have another Techies jump here. Gonna try and get this return stun on the Earthshaker, but just gonna miss out. And nice silence, but it's not enough to keep the Lich alive. So nice try from the Drow, but will not be able to save her +5. Meanwhile, they are walking into this Pudge here on the side of the Radiant. And this SK is just going to go straight for this Puck again. He sees the Puck. He's going to go. Nice cancel of the Pudge ult from the Earthshaker. Will be able to jaunt away on the Puck. Gonna try and see what they can get. Lich ult coming out, but it's bouncing between the creeps. Gonna get a couple of hits off
the my god!
Oh, gosh. And that is one of the huge disadvantages here of trying to get this huge team fight, because we have this Drow trying to get her multi-shot arrows in. We have a Pudge just walking around with his flesh heap, and this Hood also helps a lot, although he didn't even pop it. And what can you do? You just give SK a rampage at 16 minutes.
God gamer. This is another game where we're now at a over 1k net worth lead a minute. This is
So if we take a look at the fight recap there, that SK did 5,000 damage in that fight. There was only 6,000 damage dealt in that fight, and the SK did 5,000 of it. What an insane set of damage here. And this Drow's just going to walk straight into these heroes. I don't know if they noticed and just decided to let her live, but No, it looks like they spotted the puck instead and just instantly decided that was their target. They were going on this puck and they have found this ancient stack. This is going to be theirs.
Oh, no.
They are not leaving that for the drow. And what do you do?
It's just bad to worse, Kit.
What do you do at this point? You can't come and farm your triangle. You have no vision anywhere else in your map. Where do you go as the Radiant? How do you bring this back?
And this is where I point out that there is an anti-mage farming, so this only gets worse for them, Kit.
Yeah, and if we come and take a look at this anti-mage as well, look at this. It's got Battle Fury, Yasha, still got quite a long way to go until he gets this Manta finished up. But
3 minutes, 4 maybe. Oh. Ash,
and while we're talking, Lich is able to be picked up quite easily here by this techies. Gonna get a silence in from both the puck and the drought. Gonna put the dream call down as well to prevent them going. We'll be able to pick up the techies there with the orb.
Oh dear.
And Echo Slam coming out here for Flare as well, but not gonna be enough to take it down. Gonna take down the Earthshaker instead from this anti-mage, who has finally decided to come and join the fight, and they'll also be able to pick up the puck kill as well. That is now, I think, the pucks. Let's take a look here. It's their 5th death. It feels like a lot more. Maybe we've just seen a very unfortunate series of deaths in a row.
Fleur even managing to keep herself alive with the god timing on that shallow grave as well. I'm really proud.
Yeah, that was.
This is just I don't know what they do, Kit. I honestly don't know what they do.
This is a very tough game. So if we take a look at this Pudge, who is just always sitting here, is able to get this hook onto the drow. Going to be able to cancel the ult there from the side of the Lich, given the Sinister Gaze, but this Pudge has his axe now. He is just going to be able to take down the drow anyway. And oh no, the MP is stuck on the wrong side of the Fisher.
Oh no,
They are going to be able to get the SK though, and they're also able to pick up a kill onto Fleur with the puck, but this is a tough game. This is hard. They're going to try and go onto the techies here with this puck. Going to get the Dream Call down, but they don't really have any follow-up. Going to put this stun onto both the Pudge and the techies, but these are two pretty adept heroes. They're not going to go down very easily.
Techies with the 3 fairy fires and wards. I like it. I like it.
But if we take a look in the difference between items of these two mids, so Puck just has a Witchblade and brown boots. That's the Puck's items. We can't even say that they only have a Witchblade because they've gone for BOTs. It's brown boots, Witchblade. This is not a good position for Puck to be in. Not at this point of a game.
You could take either of the top 2 heroes on Dire, and that they are more than the combined net worth of the top 2 heroes by them, each of them by themselves on the Radiant. This Puck and the Naked Prophet not adding up by themselves to the Sand King, and then this anti-mage above that.
You could take the top 2 net worth heroes of this game out of it, and it would still only just be even.
I don't know what they do. I think the only thing I could think that you potentially look at doing is you have this Prophet just focus on split pushing and trying to keep the waves pushed out as best as possible. You could potentially look at maybe if you can see where I'm pinging, you could potentially look at having the Prophet maybe go there now and cut the creep waves and just try and even like release the pressure a little bit that way. But even then, you've still got 2 lanes that Anti-Mage and Sand King are going to be able to push out by themselves, and they're so strong that what are you going to do?
Oh, so this MP has tried to go for this bot tier 1 tower, but he's been spotted, and Anti-Mage is immediately TP'd, easily able to pick up this kill. Going to pop the ult on him as well to stop that TP from completing, as the Prophet just tries to get back to base. AM is trying to build up this Basher now. Won't be very long before he's actually there either, so It's a incredibly strong AM as well, and the rest of his team haven't even backed out of mid yet. Like we've still got this this Dazzle, this Pudge, this Techies just hanging out in this group of trees here. And
Oh look! Oh look! Oh look!
Sanking's channeling up this ult, and he's just gonna blink straight on this drown. He doesn't even need to do anything else. Just the epicenter will kill her off at this point. That is so painful to try and leave bases drought at the moment. Gonna try and get a hook up onto the high ground there from the Pudge. Little bit ambitious as he didn't have any vision, but you know, you never know. They could have been chilling. They might have just been sat there.
When you're at this point, when you're a Pudge, when you're this far ahead, you've got all the other lanes being pushed out, you can just basically chill and you start playing a different game. You basically start playing Sega Bass Fishing Dota Edition because you're just about throwing these hooks in and just trying your luck. Because
really
what are they gonna do?
Playing Pudge Wars at this point, isn't it? Just
what a game!
Hook and hope.
Oh.
Oh, and Fleur is going to try and take this tier 2 tower here top. Is now joined by the Sand King, who I think will have a little bit more success than she does. But,
silly Fleur. Fleur thinks she's people. Whereas this Sand King is just able to no, this is my farm. I am the core.
It's just the tower hits, you know. You don't do a lot of right-click damage with Dazzle, not without Poison Touch, and unfortunately you can't Poison Touch towers yet.
And also has the Philly Stone. Could you imagine if Fleur was able to destroy the tower with the Philly Stone? That would be just, ugh.
I'd be ready to give up on Dota at that point.
Oh, the hook!
Oh.
Report the Pudge, missed hook. Not even once.
I'm gonna have a little bit of a dance here now, as Dire desperately want to go high ground, but they also really want to be able to get a pick off first, and that involves Pudge landing one of these hooks. But ultimately they know that there's a lot of vision preventing them from getting a ward in base. So that's why they're just trying to do this little bit of a dance, see where they're able to get to, and see what happens there. But instead, second option is to just go to Roche. And they're going to be able to take this very quickly here. That's a lot of damage coming out.
Oh my god, I'm just letting them know. Just telling them. Why not?
The
what are they gonna...
disrespect for me.
Oh. That's...
Oh,
the telling off there. Okay, yeah, that's...
Rightly so, anti-mage. You tell him.
Yeah, that's not okay. Like... You know, we're about having fun here, but if you're, I know you might be feeling yourself, but yeah, no, that's...
There's feeling yourself, and then there's going too far, and I'm glad that the anti-mage feels able to call out their teammates as well.
Yeah, that was...
That is definitely something that I like to see.
Oh no. This...
Oh, that was a very nice hook there. Came in just to catch the last of it. And Ash going to be able to pick up the kill with a bomb there. But very nicely caught there. And meanwhile, mid, they're just going to be diving in here for this Techie Splash. So much damage coming out from the side of the Dire here. This Sandstorm is doing so much. This Drow is going to have to walk into it, which means she's going to miss so many of her attacks. And take damage too. She's not even doing anything to the anti-mage illusion with her multi-shot there. Puck's desperately trying to get some damage here, putting the ult down, but she's just gonna get hexed by the Dazzle, and that AM is diving in, gonna be able to get so much right click there, and they're gonna clean up. Gonna pop the Aegis on the Sand King from a little bit of a dive, but we do a little bit of diving sometimes in Dota, so nothing too extreme there. At least he had Aegis.
Meanwhile,
looks like the MP is just going to try and take a single tower this game. And that's achieved. Very nicely picked up. You got to have one objective. That's always my goal. If the game's going too badly, just take one objective. Be fine. I'm going to try and get the blind fountain hook from the Pudge, but nicely sidestepped there. Good stun.
Meanwhile, Yeah, even with okay, sure, you've taken a tier 1 bottom, but you're currently having your tier 4s knocked on. Oh, and the
Yeah,
yeah.
blink onto that drow from the Pudge. Easily going to be taken down. She will buy back. Going to be able to clean up the rest of the team there as they dared to stand outside a fountain. Trying to pull the AM into base, but that's the wrong target to pull into your fountain because he will just blink away, and so he does. Oh, and again, just slightly bad positioning there. Just able to be blinked on by this drow and this lich, and they'll just be taken down so easily by this Pudge and this unstoppable Sand King, who's going to dive the fountain, as they call GG. Will fall for it, which I think is a fair trade there, but that was a very dominant game there from the goats. What a play. What a play. That was exactly what you'd hope to see from a game of Dota.
Yeah, I mean the goats managed to bounce back from the from their early loss last week, and have clearly been able to take that in their stride, and they just I think we know what the answer is.
I think we do.
Don't let Ash get back to his PC. Just Steam Deck meta. It's real. We're going to be seeing. I don't know about you, but I'm thinking we're going to be seeing TI-12 Grand Finals all being played on Steam Decks. Come on, Valve, advertise your product. Come on.
So if we take a little bit of a look at this scoreboard here, 40-10 here for the goats, and this Pudge never died. This anti-mage died once. Even the techies. Now, I know that techies is in a very different place now, so it's not a hero that tends to die as much as it usually did, but 2 deaths for a techies? That's incredibly low. We would always expect to see a lot more. And again, I do appreciate that techies is in a very different place from that meta, but that's very good. That's a very good KDA.
Yeah, it's I'm not sure what the Dragons could have done to do anything differently, because like I said, as same to the similar game we saw earlier, is that even when the Dragons were making rotations to try and get kills in lanes, all it meant was that this anti-mage was just uncontested and able to farm up the Battle Fury really quickly. The build, I can't believe this the mangoes tangos quelling blade. I'm so here for it. And
well, you have to have that quelling blade against an MP, but the mass of mangoes was incredible, and it clearly worked out for them. Like, they end that game with all 5 of the Dire heroes above the net worth of the Radiants. An absolutely dominant game there. I just don't know what you do to prevent that. There were so many points where the rotations looked good, but perhaps there were too many, and they allowed the other lanes to just be pushed. We saw this rotation bot where they got the kill on Fleur, but they rotated 4 heroes down to get it, and at that point you are leaving your top tower open to some serious pushing by this techies and this AM, and you don't normally see an AM be able to push that early, but because there's just no one in his lane, and they were able to kill anyone who was in the lane. So there was one time when we were watching bot, and they got a kill on the Earthshaker, so it was a completely free lane for them, and they did not need to be bot. That bot was absolutely fine taking on that massive rotations on their own. So they just got left alone, and an AM did what an AM does, and he farmed and finished the game extraordinarily wealthy.
Yeah, the Sand King just got super out of control. The Pudge got really out of control as well. All 3 cores just, what were you doing? What could you do to stop him? The Sand King was in 28 of the 40 kills that the goats had, just everywhere on the map. The early boots of travel, feel like the Boots of Travel they got pretty quickly. They got the blink, and then they got the blink just about 15 minutes, and within 17 minutes bots finished already. They were just everywhere on the map, able to rotate so well.
Just after 15 minutes was when we saw their rampage as well. So
16 minutes on. So yeah, that's that bots was obviously bought with real blood money with the Rampagu there.
But like this Sand King, 25,000 damage on one hero. That's an insane amount of damage for a game of that length.
Yeah, that's not
only
okay.
1,000 damage a minute. That's absurd. Absolutely extraordinary. And top by miles. Only his AM came second, and that was half the damage on the team. Literally half the damage. 12k damage coming out from this AM. The Sand King was so important in all of these fights, and just able to provide so much control. This Lotus was great as well, you know, taking rid of these silences, just really harming any kind of counterplays that the Dragons did make. It was an exceptionally well played hero, and a fantastic demonstration of how valuable your pos 3 can be. Because in this game, the Sand King definitely won this game for them. I'm 100%. Sure that if the Sand King hadn't have played as well, we would probably have seen a similar victory. We would have probably still seen the Goats come out on top, just because the other players played so well as well. But I think it would not have been anywhere near as short of a game if it wasn't for the Sand King.
No, I think you already know what I think the real determining factor is here, and we're going to be seeing teams are going to have to start giving Volvo that money if they want to start getting stomps like that. We're going to be seeing the sales for the deck just ramp up massively after this week. I think it's
Steam Deck techies. You heard it here first. That's how you win.
100%. So what?
Speaking of coming up, let's have a little bit of a look at next week. So this is week 2 of 4 that we've just played. So next week will be pretty important because we will finally get to see exactly how these standings are shaping up. And it'll lead us to finding out who is coming up on top and who we can expect to see middling out or heading towards the bottom. So as you can see, we will be having Swans go up against Pirates, Artists v Ghosts, Robins v Pit Ponies, Dragons v Puffins, Goats v Swans, Pit Ponies v Pirates, Puffins v Artists, and Dragons v Robins. Now, the Robins and the Artists did not field teams, so any teams who are facing up against them will have an automatic bye. The games we will be watching on stream, which I'm sure is the most important part for all of you, will be the Dragons versus the Puffins and the Goats versus the Swans. Now, I mentioned earlier, but the Swans are the only team that we've not yet seen play on this stream, so that is going to be a hugely exciting game for me. How are you feeling about next week's games, seeing Dragons go up against Puffins?
I'm excited again to get to see my buddies. Really happy for that, and I'm also really excited to see the Swans because we haven't seen them on stream yet, and they're going against other buddies. So it's the real question is going to be who's going to be playing with Tamagotchi controls next week. That's the real question at this point.
Yes, I'm very much looking forward to this Goats v Swans game. Maybe we can finally see a pretty even game? Question mark?
Who knows? Well, that's the hope. That's the dream.
Our quest continues. So far, we have had some very, very dominant games, and I'm looking forward to see what next week brings. Thank you very much for watching. That will be all from us today. It has been my pleasure to be with you for these 2 games, and thank you very much for Lude for joining me.
Yeah, so thank you so much once again for having me. It's been real blast getting to support local talent and support, actually seeing the game played at different levels. But I think the only thing, regardless of your skill level, I think the thing that all of us have in common is that we love this game and we want everyone else to enjoy this game as well, regardless of your age, gender, creeds, your background. We love video games, and this is our community. We should always keep it welcoming to everybody as best as we can.
Exactly, and that's why things like the Welsh Esports League are so great, because they mean that if you have absolutely no experience of playing games at any kind of professional level, you still have a chance to come in and give it a go. And that's the important part, because you'll never get any better at it if you don't give it a go. So make sure that you take a little bit of a look at what EsportsWales is doing, because there will definitely be future opportunities to get involved in leagues later on in the year. And I, for one, am very excited to see what they bring. If this is our first one, I can't wait to see what our next one looks like.
Yeah, and I just hope, Kit. I hope that we're able to convince them to let us back along for the ride.
Even if we can't, I'm looking forward to the Dota we'll see.
Of
It's going to be great. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll catch you again next week.
Thanks once again, everybody. Look after yourselves and each other.